Hi everyone, how are you? Good to be here as always. And today is Tuesday, 15th of July. Hope everyone's having a good day. First off, big thank you to the wife. There she is, just behind us for yesterday's Monday Fun Day. Great fun as always. I do like doing Monday Fun Days. It sort of kicks it off a whole week off, doesn't it, into having a good vibe, and that's what I like. So thank you to Jane for coming on, allowing me to come onto her show, I suppose, for yesterday. Let's bring you up to date then as far as your OES is concerned. No new updates there, but as always, log in on a daily basis. That's where O News number 4 is going to be. As I said yesterday on Fun Day, none of us got any pre-warning that there was going to be a message there. Ash just said, go and check it out, and it was already there. Sometimes we get a little bit of pre-warning, sometimes we don't. But as I always recommend, sign into your OES at least once a day, then you'll be up to date with what is going on. Also, good post by Chris Johnson for rising from the phoenix of the ashes. Very poignant of what's happening with us at the moment, isn't it? We really are literally rising from the ashes of what has gone on. And obviously, I thought it was very good. I believe that maybe Brian Croax does those. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, it was very good. Also, later on today, Andy Burks is doing OP Digital Blueprint with myself, and I think Gina Lever, if she can confirm that in the chat. That's going to be very shortly after we finish here, half an hour after we finish. So in 1 hour's time, that is going to be on their channel. We're going to actually talk about what we're going to talk about. I did message Andy, and we're going to run off what was said, and that is you do not need to know the path if you trust the guide, and we're going to obviously talk about that and expand on that. Trust the guide. There you go, Gene. Thank you so much. So we'll be on there. Please come and join us. That's in 1 hour's time with Andy Burks, and that's on his channel, I think, Comfort Comforts, and also Collins Manners channel. So only 3 of those. Be great to see you if you can make it. Okay. I don't think there's anything else I need to bring up right now. So I'll get straight on then with what today's topic is, and that is brand identity for a small business. Pretty important stuff, really, isn't it? Having a brand identity. This really is where your customer base will know you from. Obviously, making a brand that people recognize takes an awful long time. So a lot of thought has to be made into what you are thinking of having your brand. Now, obviously, this is just tips. So everything I'm doing is tips to aid people in business, whether it's online, offline, for anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be specific to what we are all doing. And so there is things with what I bring to the table that really aren't applicable to our business. But it's all learning, it's all information, it's all something that you can take on board and maybe use some of it, all of it, or none of it. It's entirely up to you. But it certainly doesn't hurt, does it, to gain the information from either myself or other people for what things are. So brand identity, what's it all about then? So a small business brand identity is a multifaceted collection of elements that define how business is perceived by its audience. Okay, it's what they recognize. It encompasses not just the visual aspects like logos and colors, but also the brand's voice, values, and overall personality, creating a unique and recognizable image that resonates with the customer. It's a pity you can't actually see this diagram here because does it expand out? A little bit it does there. So it has brand identity in the middle, and then it spurs out to all of the other parts of your business. And why is that there? It's because the first thing that people recognize is that brand which you are. Now, obviously, there's a fair chance that we will already have a brand with the next phase. We will have logo with the next phase, etc. And here's the but that I'm trying to put over to you guys is that even if we have the brand and the logo and all the rest of it, you're part of the marketing and you're part of how you want your website to look, etc. Okay, will determine your brand, you specifically. It mentioned on the brand identity that voice, values, and personality are important for you branding. So let's break it down. Key elements and steps to build a strong brand identity for a small business. First of all, define your brand's foundation. Sound familiar? How many times have we talked about how important a foundation of any business moving forward is important? Having that foundation from where you start from is really, really important. It's also important to share your brand story. And what's the purpose of this? It brings value to the customer and the unique story behind your business. It really does help to give people a reason to use you. So what are you doing that is going to help people solve their problem, and what makes you different from other people? This should be taken not as a pinch of salt. This should be really looked into of analyzing. Say for instance, we start in the new phase and we have just one product, for instance. You really need to do your homework about this one product and then look at it, look at customers and think to yourself, what does this product, what is it helping people solve? Why is it different from others? What is unique about it? And once you've decided all of those aspects of that one product, then you can start talking and writing about it in the bio, in the descriptions, etc. And this is something that the people who are interested or looking to buy are going to find interesting. Also, what is important is making sure that you tell your story of why you have got into business. What you are, what is the purpose of your business? Okay, what are your values and your unique story behind it? It's very important that people try and get to know you, that you don't just want to be there and say, I want to sell as much as I can so I can make loads of money. That's not going to build your brand. That's certainly not going to build the collaboration you're going to have with your audience and the trust they're going to have in you. If they know a little bit about you, and it doesn't have to be on the first page, it can be, you can actually put a backstory to it, you know, to what you are trying to achieve. Now, I certainly know that many people out that, for instance, joined OnPassive for all sorts of reasons, monetary being the number one. But certainly loads of people wanted to do something with OnPassive that they can help their community, they can maybe help their church, they can help orphans, they can help all sorts of different organizations. This is the perfect time for you to tell that story. Not explain it at length, but just a bit of a backstory of why you're doing what you're doing and the reasons you're doing it for. It adds to the uniqueness of you as a brand. Targeted audience, identifying who your ideal customers are, their needs, and how your brand can connect with them. How many times have I talked, and it's amazing how often this comes up with every single part of building a business online. Having and knowing where your target audience is so important. And we have discussed, haven't we, how you can find out where your target audience is. If you look back over the videos I've done, we do talk at length of the tips and tricks that you can learn to find out what your target audience is looking for. Once you've identified those, then you can work that into your bio of what your website is looking out and also what your brand is going to be. Mission and values clearly articulate what your business stands for and its core beliefs. Obviously, we can take that from uh, what we're going to see in our next phase. Why? Because we're aligned with that. We're aligned with what this business stands for and the core beliefs of it. You know, we know that a lot to do with what we are doing is all about that humanitarian side, the business with a heart that really does stand it out from the crowd, because we do it out of value, not um, out of money. You know, this is the difference. What we bring to the table here has been completely turned on its head, and it's something that you should use within your brand identity so that you stand out from the crowd. We're not just talking here about um, logos and stuff. We're talking about stuff that means something to other people. That mission and value, clearly articulated, will resonate with an awful lot of people. Why? You see it all the time. People are prepared to pay more money for something that aligns with their views and their beliefs. You only have to look at the supermarket shelves and what people purchase. People will purchase things that are more expensive, but because they have maybe a more ecological background that's better for the environment, they don't mind paying more for it because they know that that company has got the right intentions as a business, because they are providing things for the consumer that is not harmful to the environment, for instance, or to whatever is going on. You only have to look at things of higher quality, I suppose. People are prepared to pay for better value, better quality, because it means more value for what they are getting. Things that become disposable or aren't as good, people tend to now only buy them out of necessity rather than what aligns with their beliefs. I personally believe that if you're going to build a brand, build a community of loyal customers, then you need to make sure that you are setting your stall out from word go for your values of what you're looking for in business. Competitive analysis, understanding your competitors and identifying opportunities to differentiate your brand. We've talked about this as well, haven't we? It's not just about knowing your product and your services. You have to go and look at other competitors and what they are offering that's similar to you, and analyze what the difference is between the two. Why? Because this is a selling point for you. This is something that you can certainly bring up and highlight, that you are different from these others. And not only you are different because of X, Y, and Z, we are also different because these are the things that we are trying to achieve as a business, what things we are trying to do in the global environment and make a difference. All of these things, I can assure you, will resonate with an awful lot of your potential customers. So visual identity, what is it? It is the thing that people look and see first. Logo, it's the first thing. It's a visual symbol representing your brand, ensuring it's unique, memorable, and versatile across different applications. When you're looking at a logo, now, are we going to find a logo? Are we going to have a logo? Yeah, we probably will. Is it going to be different from the one we see now? There's a fair chance. I don't know. but there is a good chance that it will change. But this new logo that we are going to have is going to be our identity. This is what people are going to recognize us for. What does that logo represent? This is where you as a brand come into play, because you've already written about what your mission is and what you're trying to achieve and all the rest of it. So they get a good idea of what that brand is and how it works into the marketplace. It's really important that that visual logo does mean something. And obviously we will get all this information from the next phase and through our CEO, Ashmi Farah. The color palette as well. Choose a set of colors that reflect your brand's personality and are consistent across all platforms. Again, if you look at really good websites, their logo and the backdrops within the pages, the outlines, the color coordination, all matches in. Okay, it flows, doesn't it? From the logo, the other pages pick up the colors from the logo, they bring it into the pages and all the rest of it. This is how to build a very good, pleasing to the eye, aesthetically web page. It flows, as it said in the description. If you can do that, okay, and think about, am I using the right colors that the brand is meant to be? Am I sticking with that choice of colors that reflects that logo when I'm building my website? Is it all coming across all of those platforms? And if the answer is yes to it, then you know you've got the right color coordination and the right design that is going to help you be chosen in front of somebody else. It looks the part, it sounds the part, and we are going to give the customer the part of the products and services that they desire. And if you can get all of those parts of the equation to the customer and they are extremely happy, guess what? You end up then going down the best form of marketing of all, which is word of mouth. Costs nothing, has the biggest effect. Typography. What is this? This is selecting fonts that align with your brand's tone and are easy to read. There is no point in having hieroglyphics. There is no point of having italic writing. There is no point in having Old English. There is no point in having something that people just cannot read. Make sure that you have words that people can read. This means having plain or very light background to the words that you're writing on so that the words stand out. Keep the theme all the way through every single page, unless, and this is an unless you are talking maybe third party, then you can change the fonts and you can change the colors, because it is a different part, and what you are trying to do is to make it really known that this is not you, it's somebody else. Okay, this is how to really start looking into how fonts work and how important it is for not only people to read it, but important to be able to make things within the text that you are putting in there seem a little bit different from somebody else's. Okay, so when you are writing a description, if you are, for instance, talking in a third person about somebody else, or if somebody has done for instance, they've done a review on your products and services and you wanted to highlight that, put that in a different font, different text to what you would normally use within your web page. Then it would stand out and people automatically know that, hang on a minute, it's not your normal text here, that it is something different. This is why it's so important to make it as simple as possible. Okay, don't use big words, okay? Because you are looking to be able to target as many people as possible, and you want as many people as possible to understand what your mission is, what you're trying to achieve, what the product is, etc. This is why when you are building and you are looking at your identity, it really is important that when all of the parts that come into having your identity is concerned, and that is logo, text that you're writing, the web page itself, etc., is it going to appeal to a wide audience? And I'm not talking now about targeted audience. I'm talking about, is a wide audience going to understand what you have written? And if the answer to that is, yeah, I think it is, then you know you're on the right path. It doesn't hurt whatsoever to send your website to trusted friends, relations, whoever it may be, prior to it going live. Why? Because they'll give you exactly what you want, and that is an honest opinion. Okay, they will tell you, oh, you've actually spelt that wrong, or the grammar on that's not correct. Couldn't read that part up there. It needs to be a bit bigger, etc. All of these things make your website and your brand a little bit special, a little bit different from somebody else's. And this is what it's all about, standing out from the crowd. That's why imagery and graphics, okay, are so important when you marry them in with all the other things. Use consistent visuals that reinforce your brand's message and style. Again, use the right graphics and imagery that go with you, what you are trying to achieve. There's no point in putting a guy on a skateboard if you are talking about sailboats, for instance. Okay, you need to have imagery of either the sea or the wind or cliffs or birds or whatever it may be. Okay, you need to stick with the theme of what your brand is. Okay, keep the topic relevant, keep the imagery relevant to what you are trying to achieve. Okay, again, very good tips, very good for you to take these on board. Brand voice and tone, consistent messaging. We've said this so many times. Consistency is key. Develop a unique brand voice that reflects your personality and resonates with your target audience. How do you get those? Well, the easiest thing to do is do it yourself, isn't it? Make you the brand voice. That's the easiest thing to do. And if you can't do that, there's lots of other companies. Fiverr, for instance, you can use voiceover people on that. AI you can use as well. You can actually do text to voice now through artificial intelligence. Again, if you go whatever route you decide to go down, make sure it fits in with what brand you are trying to reflect on. Okay, what are you trying to resonate with a voice here? If you are targeting, we'll say, the Indian population or the Pakistan population, then you need a voice that people will resonate with for that area. Okay, one website is not necessarily all you need. If you are having voices in the background or videos in the background that are playing, make sure that other people across the globe can understand what you are trying to do. Obviously, this takes time to build it and expand it. So you need to start somewhere, and wherever you're going to start, make sure that comes into the equation of the voice reflecting your personality and resonates with your target audience. Tone of voice, determine how you will communicate with your audience, whether it is playful, professional, or empathetic. I know what my style is, and I'm very comfortable with the style that I deliver. Everyone has a different one. Look at Chris Johnson. What's his style? Very playful. Does he have a serious side to him? Yes, it does. But if you were to mention Chris Johnson, what would you say his style was? Everyone will say, well, he's a bit of a joker, isn't he? You know, he's somebody that comes over who's playing around, etc. That's his style. Okay, that is something that people identify Chris Johnson from. So what is your style? What are you going to be? Are you going to be somebody who's going to be playful, somebody who's professional? What's it going to be? That is entirely up to you. Nobody can tell you how to do that. Nobody can say, well, you should do this or you shouldn't do that. That's entirely up to you. You do what you feel is the perfect thing to do. Vivine Benny's just said something in the chat that is really important. The landing page. Now, for those who don't know what a landing page is, it is literally the first page that a potential customer lands on. That's why it's called the landing page. It breaks your, it's a make or break for your brand. Okay. People, you literally have 2 to 3 seconds before people click off or get bored. Okay. Really are something that you need to grab that person's attention now, okay, before they click off. As Vivine said here, voiceovers are becoming tiresome and boring, okay, because they're used day in, day out. The real voice is authentic and impactful. Absolutely, it is. I believe that. But obviously, some people, some of you guys out there might not be comfortable or confident doing that. But it certainly is the best option, in my opinion, for you to utilize something that doesn't cost any money, but something that you can certainly expand on and do more with. Use yourself. Okay, you're the cheapest person out there because it's all your time. You're not paying anybody, that's for sure. Okay, we've done that. We've only got a little bit more to go now, guys, which is building a brand style guide. Okay, document everything. We talked about this, haven't we? How much analytics are really important. I've told you the story about keeping records of everything so that you know exactly where you are in business. Creating a style guide that outlines all brand elements, including logo usage, color palettes, typography, and voice guidelines needs to be written down. Okay, this is your diary, I suppose. This is what you help to move forward. I'll give you a prime example. Films. Okay, they still use them now. Okay, with all the technology that's out there, with every computer that they could possibly use and all the rest of it, what do film producers still use now on set? Okay, they use the storyboards. Okay, they've got some guy, he sketches them up, okay, all the time of how that take is going to go on set. Right, that is their hard copy. That is an archive of what they want to achieve that's going to be shown on a film. You need to have the same sort of thing with your brand. When you are setting your brand out, start documenting it. Get a folder, okay, breaking all those elements down. Create the style guide and outline every part of it and a part that you're going to do within your branding. Consistency. Ensure all marketing materials, websites, social media, and customer interactions adhere to the brand guidelines. There's no point in you having a brand and not using it across everywhere that you go. Whatever it is, whatever your brand that you decide for you, okay, you should use everywhere. Because this is the thing that you're going to build in time. This is the recognition that people are going to remember you from in time because they see it everywhere. And the more they see it, the more it sits in the back of their head, and they end up being in a position where they just know it because they remember it. You've all heard of the stories, haven't you, of having just logos on a book in classrooms of kids and asking them what's the name of the companies that behind those logos. 9 times out of 10, they'll be able to reel them all off. Why? Because they're either fast food companies or name brands of clothing, etc. And the kids know these. This is why it's so important to have that correct branding and logo for your products and services. Customer experience, exceptional service, go above and beyond to provide excellent service, customer service, and build strong relationships. I've said before, in my opinion, and I think Ash thinks the same way on this, by the way, I really do think it is the main important part moving forward. I think we've almost gone full circle. Remember the old hardware shop round the corner that people went into face to face, asked the guy behind the counter, he's got his brown coat on, have you got 4 nails, 5 screws, 6-inch washer, blah, blah, blah. Okay. They didn't go there because it was the cheapest place. They went there because they could chat to the guy behind the counter. He knew exactly what it was. You could explain to somebody what you're after, what you need, and you get what you want. Obviously, a lot of imports have come in. They've automated it all. It comes in a nice little plastic thing, all the rest of it. And people go for the cheap option. But I really do believe that's gone full circle now. I believe now that people want that interaction. They want to be able to have that go between of buying something and actually talk to somebody about what their needs are. I think moving forward that our business will have an exceptional service as far as that interaction is concerned. I firmly believe that that is going to be a core element of the next phase. Do I know? No, I don't. But the way things are moving in the sales industry is concerned, more and more people now are going all the way back round now to having that personal interaction with their customers. Tailor interactions to individual customers to create a memorable experience. You can do that. For instance, we all know that with OnPassive, when that was there was going to be the ability to tailor certain products and services to individual businesses for their needs. Again, why wouldn't we offer the same in the next phase? It makes sense, wouldn't it? So I do believe that that will be there, having that personalized interaction and creating individual things for companies will be there in the future. And the last one then is marketing and promotion. Digital marketing, utilizing SEOs, we know about those, social media, content marketing to reach a wider audience is all important as far as your brand is concerned. Offline marketing as well. Explore opportunities, local events, partnerships, and collaborations with people offline. Billboards, if you can afford them, paper advertising, TV, radio, etc., are all offline means. Do they prove necessary in today's environment? No, not so much, but there is a place for it. Otherwise, you wouldn't hear adverts on the radio all the time, would you? Because the businesses wouldn't pay for it, and so they wouldn't be on there. So there is a market for it, and you'd never know. In your area where you are, you might have a high listener rate on your local radio. What a perfect place to be, to advertise your products and services. So in conclusion then, by focusing on these elements, small businesses can cultivate a strong brand identity that resonates with their target audience, fostering customer loyalty and ultimately contributes to business success. That's it, guys. That is brand identity for a small business. Lots to go at there, lots to think of, lots of stuff that you can utilize when we get the green light to go in the next phase. How much of that is going to be incorporated, I don't know. But certainly knowing now what goes into creating a brand identity will certainly help you make your decisions moving forward into the next phase. That's it for me, guys. We'll see you all very shortly, 20 minutes actually, on with Andy and Jean. Vivine, Benny, thank you so much for your super sticker. Not necessary whatsoever, but Jane said, hello to all my lovelies. That's you as well, Vivine. Thank you so much for your super sticker. It really does mean an awful lot to me. Thank you very much. I hope it's been a good topic. I've enjoyed it, and I'll be back around tomorrow with another one to bring to the table to help you in making a business online and moving into the next phase. That's it from me. Bye for now.